Yo, what is up guys? Bon dia and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about what the hell happened to One Punch Man. What happened? I might have a bit of a bias because I watched only half of episode 1 before absolutely scrapping it and throwing it over my shoulder. There was no way that I was going to sit there and fully consume what is another slideshow season just to say I went through it. Not gonna happen. I ain't going through that, okay? Did it with Blue Lock. And sure, the last episode was actually really good. I think that's where all of the money went. But I am not going to do that for One Punch Man. I'd rather just see the clips. I want to understand a little bit of the why. Why is this happening? Why is this turning into a common theme? And I'm going to be honest. One Punch Man season 1 and 2 was such a success that I know so many people were waiting to watch season 3. Where did they go wrong? I believe it was like 6 years that they had enough time to actually animate it and put out something decent. But yeah, they failed.
J.C.Staff had all of that time to adapt season 3 of One Punch Man. And I don't know if you guys know this, but it doesn't take that long to make 12 episodes of anime. In fact, it doesn't even take that long to make 12 good episodes of anime. Because that's the thing. Not only is One Punch Man season 3 going to be the first One Punch Man season that is not 24 episodes long, but it is also by far and away the worst looking season of One Punch Man we've ever gotten. And what's crazy is that it's airing simultaneously against the final season of MHA, a season of anime that, according to my anime list, had half of the people waiting to see it than the amount of people waiting to see season 3 of One Punch Man. With the
I absolutely love My Hero Academia, and I was looking forward to this last season more than One Punch Man because I have a bias. I read My Hero Academia's manga and I knew exactly what to expect. I was holding them to a high regard when it comes to animating this last season. They're doing a phenomenal job so far. But to have One Punch Man, an anime that across the board everyone does know because it was on Netflix for a good amount of time. I believe it's still on Netflix, like worldwide. And a lot of people since 2020 started watching One Punch Man as their first anime. So season 1, they see that it's looking good. You really think they're not going to be waiting for season 2? They are. And if what he's saying is true, bro, it's crazy to think that so many people are actually waiting for One Punch Man just for them to not deliver. It's gonna be a huge blow on the One Punch Man franchise. And the manga is absolutely amazing. The mangaka is so good at drawing. It's crazy, bro. I need you guys to understand that the mangaka that draws One Punch Man, he drew that. That's a drawing. That's not a real glass of water. I thought it was. I was confused why it was on my timeline yesterday. Yeah, moving on.
Members waiting to see it, and the third season of One Punch Man having 300,000 plus. However, there's one major difference between One Punch Man season 3 and the final season of MHA. Well, actually, there's a few major differences, but the big one that I want to talk about right now is the fact that the last season of MHA, season 7, came out in the spring 2024 season. That is 18 months ago. And I know some of you aren't so great at math, so I'll do it for you here. 6 years is 72 months. That means that the last season of One Punch Man, season 2 of One Punch Man, came out 4 times longer ago than the last season of MHA. That is to say that J.C.Staff had 4 times the amount of time to get out a 12-episode season of anime than the team at Bones did. And yet somehow, someway, Bones is producing movie-quality episodes every single week.
To a conclusion of a series like My Hero Academia is going through right now, you need high-level animation, especially if the anime manga has been going on for 10 plus years. You need to give the fans, especially the fans worldwide, which is a topic I'm going to get to towards the end of this video, you need to give them what they want. You need to give them what they want because not only are you making money domestically, you're making money internationally.
One Punch Man's third season, which had 4 times more time than Bones had to produce the final season of MHA, producing a show that's closer in animation quality to The Way of the House Husband than MHA. Well, maybe it's because Bones has less to work on than J.C.Staff. I mean, I'm racking my brain right now, and all I can think about that Bones actually animates is MHA, right? Listen, I'd be lying to you if I said Bones takes on a ton of projects. They don't. Pretty much the only projects of note that Bones works on are MHA, Skate the Infinity.
These are the anime that Bones have worked on. I might be wrong, you guys tell me. The majority of the anime on this list have concluded, right? But I'm pretty sure if you're gonna be releasing My Hero Academia, right, every year and a half, I know that when Mob Psycho was coming around and they were animating that, another show with amazing animation, I'm pretty sure they were still releasing My Hero Academia seasons. And the animation was pretty good. There's only one season in My Hero Academia where I can say, yeah, the animation quality dropped off, but they picked it up because, I'm going to say because, maybe, we don't know, they stopped animating shows like Mob Psycho and the load was, you know, distributed evenly.
That must seemingly be the difference between a mediocre studio like J.C.Staff and a widely, at least pretty beloved studio like Bones. Yeah, I get a couple of the MH seasons weren't great, but they were all better than what we're getting from One Punch Man right now. But surely J.C.Staff has just been inundated with work that's been keeping them from producing the highest quality version of what should be their highest grossing IP. Right? I mean, maybe One Punch Man isn't even their highest grossing product, which is why...
Another great point, bro. We're just 5 minutes in and this guy's spitting facts. If you have One Punch Man underneath your belt, bro, that is a money laundering machine. Take your time, do it right, because the moment you put it out, even if you have to delay another 1 to 2 years and you already took 6, you are going to get another crazy return on investment.
The idea of Yusuke Murata's artwork being bastardized by J.C.Staff's anime adaptation is infuriating. So then why is it being bastardized? Well, for 2 reasons, really. Incompetence and greed. See, unfortunately, season 2 of Blue Lock set a precedent. A ridiculously dangerous and very annoying precedent. Blue Lock is by far and away the most popular sports anime on Earth right now, and one of the most popular anime, period. And it set the precedent that you're able to keep a captive audience of watchers, regardless of how bad the product you turn in is, so long as it is at least watchable and your IP is large enough. See, because Blue Lock season 2 turned in some of the worst looking anime I've ever seen for 10 and a half episodes. And then for the last 10 minutes of episode 11 and the entirety of episode 12, Bandai Namco decided to show us what Blue Lock could look like if they decided to care. But in reality, what they did was genius, because not only did these last 30 or so minutes of content leave every viewer of Blue Lock season 2 with a good taste in their mouth, but they also made a calculated decision that enough people would make it to those final episodes and post about those final episodes on social media, talking about how they're the best sports anime content they've ever seen, that the people who dropped Blue Lock in the middle of season 2 would trudge through the remaining part of season 2 of Blue Lock so they could get to those incredibly hype moments at the end of season 2, and thus
not only that, but the manga community for Blue Lock is exceptional. Since the release of the first season, the manga has been absolutely popping. Needless to say that the art is also really good, and that the animation for the second season was complete, as he said, like blasphemy. Like you should absolutely be going above and beyond for an artist or a manga that actually has so much detail, and you need to replicate it to your best ability within the anime. The people that are going to stick around to the end because they do like the show are going to see the final episode. We're gonna smack the Crunchyroll clip over on YouTube. Those videos always do well. People are gonna make clips, slap it on TikTok, and everyone that was watching it, hating on it, is gonna come back and say how much they absolutely love the animation for that episode. The Neo Genesis League, okay, will premiere next year. It's not gonna be a movie, but they already knew exactly what it is that they were doing, because they know that they're gonna get people on board to watch it. You're gonna watch it regardless. It's greed, sure, but they're pretty good at it. The Weeb Commander, go and watch his videos. Go and watch that video. But let's go off to this one. It's a lot shorter. I just want to see what they say as to why it looks so bad. Like, I just need an explanation.
To understand why this looks so bad, we have to go back to the start of the animation process. As before any animation happens, you start with the storyboarder, the person that lays out the shot. In this episode, it happens to be Chikara Sakurai. And looking at his past storyboards, they're actually really quite good. And these strong poses and silhouettes are extremely helpful, as then the key animator, which is someone who usually has a lot of experience, can take that storyboard and expand and kind of make it their own thing. We'll get to season 3, but because we don't have any of the storyboards yet, we'll use this shot from the previous episode. As the key animator, we'll create 1 or 2 frames, but for this shot, we actually get 4. Then it goes to the job of the in-betweener which their job is to fill in all the drawings between those key poses.
Anime has grown tremendously. On one hand, it's such an amazing thing that we get so many animes, and sometimes we get season 1 and 2 back to back where people can keep on enjoying their anime, enjoying the hype, and you keep talking about it. And then there's comic cons where you go and cosplay, etc. But all of those snowballs can turn into a really disgusting avalanche, because what ends up happening is overworked animators, high demand on the animes being released regularly, and that just leads to us, the consumers, not really getting the best product we actually can.
Imagine trying to, say, copy a drawing, but change the pose slightly and then do that 4 more times. It's kind of daunting, but the plus about being an in-betweener is those frames are not on screen for long, so if you mess up, it doesn't really matter. The only reason it does stick out here is because of how slow the movement is. So this is a great example, because suddenly every tiny mistake, every off-proportioned limb, every off-angled face stays on screen long enough for your brain to register it. Structurally, these scenes should look good. The storyboards are strong, the composition is there, but when that solid foundation gets handed off to inexperienced or exhausted staff.
Thank you so much to Jax for explaining it. I'll leave a link down below so you guys can go and watch his video too. But it gives you more of an insight as to what the issue is. It's just the fact that they're rushing. They're rushing to get this done, because once the Blu-ray is out, they actually go over and fix all of those mistakes. If they prolong the due date, they can edit those tiny mistakes themselves, and then when the Blu-ray comes out, it looks even better. It's just a case of time and workload. We already spoke about how much these studios can be hit and how much a reputation of an anime can be hit with a poor next season. Promised Neverland. It was one of the best animes with just the season 1 standing alone. People were saying it was in their top 5. It was their favorite anime. But once the next season came out and they cut out so many things, there was just so much politics, it lost so much juice. You mention Promised Neverland right now and people go, oh yeah, oh my god, I haven't watched that anime in time, because the demand is killed, so the studios ain't gonna pick it up anymore. And if the anime is done, they're just gonna say, well, we're gonna really try and sell any more mangas. Even though away from Japan, Seven Deadly Sins did start getting a reputation for being a bit of a weird anime, people still enjoyed it because, one, it was on Netflix for a very long time. It was one of people's first few animes that they watched, and first few seasons were great. Those final 2 seasons were horrible, and I personally went off and read the manga, and the manga is phenomenal. And I can say the same thing for Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul was an amazing anime with the first 2 seasons being crazy. Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul VA being absolutely mad. But then RE comes out and they absolutely botch it. I read the manga for Tokyo Ghoul. It's another manga with a lot of detail and amazing drawings, but the animation studios did them dirty. And then you end up losing that huge wave of people that are so invested into the work. They just go elsewhere. They absolutely crap on your work before leaving though, and then they go on to the next best thing after being ridiculously disappointed. We already spoke about Blue Lock, and I was going to talk a little bit about Invincible, but that's a Western animation, so I don't really want to get too much into that. We're going to start seeing a huge shift in anime where your next anime season is going to be movies instead of TV shows, and that's simply because Demon Slayer, they're making too much money. If a Jujutsu Kaisen releases a season 1 that's an absolute banger, a season 2 that makes everyone go absolutely mental, season 3, make that a movie, season 4, make that another movie, and cash out as much as possible. Because if it's a money game, you're gonna have to make movies. Anime movies are going to be the next best thing. I haven't personally seen Chainsaw Man, but if Chainsaw Man ends up being a huge success, we're gonna definitely see that shift coming through sooner rather than later. And here are some topics that I genuinely do not know, and I'm gonna ask you guys what you guys think. The Japanese workload, I don't fathom it. I can't understand it. nor will I be able to fully comprehend it because I am not Japanese. I've never been to Japan. I just need someone to try and explain to me why the demand is always so high for them to get these animes out, because I don't know what the Japanese media, the Japanese companies, I don't know what they truly value. Do they value money like everyone else in the West? I'm pretty sure they do. And if they do value money, why is it that they're willing to put their workers through rigorous schedules just to get something out, just to not fully get the love it deserves away from Japan? Now, the love those anime / manga get in Japan, I don't know. I can go online and check, but I'm not actually there in Japan speaking to the Japanese people and actually seeing what mangas are selling over there. I don't know if they value sales in manga or actually sales and viewerships in anime. Maybe anime to them is literally just a means to an end. But I need you guys to tell me what you guys think. I don't know. We're just here talking about it. One Punch Man Season 3. Will I be watching it? No, I will not. Will you be watching it? Let me know down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you guys don't miss out on another upload. I'm currently ill, so wish me a speedy recovery, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload. Peace.